All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 3 today for the AHGL. I am Paddo, and I am bringing you a sweet game. It's going to be Google as the blue team versus Amazon as the red team. Hopefully I can keep them straight. Apparently, I've been told I called Amazon and Google a couple times last time I cast them, so hopefully I've removed the augmentations from my previous employment at Google, and now I can start calling teams by their correct names. Maybe this will settle it once and for all. Again, I did used to work for Google, now working for Amazon on the App Store team, having some fun times, but here we go. The bans are out, and the Gurg has his Aurelia ban, that comfortable Aurelia. We actually, in the tournament I played this weekend, Kuhn of our jungler, we rotated him onto top, and he actually played Aurelia every game and loved playing Aurelia. I mean, they keep nerfing her, but she's still good and effective in every game. She's a little bit item dependent, but even though they nerf her, I mean, we are having this conversation, but even though they nerf Aurelia, they pretty much buff her through items because they keep coming out with new items and buffing her that way. So still effective. Graves going to be banned out. Amumu banned out. Graves definitely a targeted ban. Amumu just solid ban all around. Caitlyn, Ezreal, Hecarim. Obviously, there's some ADs on Google that they don't want them to have. And Ezreal is one I kind of agree with, at least for Amazon's sake. Hecarim, another good all-in late game jungler that is going to be banned out here as well. So don't quite mind that as well. MF is going to be the first pick for Google. And gonna have that bullet time. We'll see what they try to mix up with it, but that's definitely a tip to the hat that we're gonna see an AoE team comp coming from Google. And likewise, I definitely know that Amazon really does like their AoE comps as well. So we'll see how this actually matches up. Cho'Gath getting picked up. I really do like that pick. Cho'Gath, Tristana. Tristana, actually, I'm a little bit of a fan of her recently. I've been seeing her played really well. And if you have a skilled player that knows how to play Tristana, especially with those resets, you can do some serious damage with it. And Cho'Gath, definitely one of those X factors. And again, I've talked about it in a lot of games, but I feel like a lot of teams that have Cho'Gath, he's just this big, huge mid-game presence where a lot of teams, I feel like, they have the early game down because they've played the early game so much. They get in the late game, they don't quite know where to push or how to coordinate as a team, but Cho'Gath is just one of those big, huge, beefy tanks that you just kind of build around and then go into that mid-game and be like, all right, we can wade into turrets, we can do all this stuff. We get to level 6, I'm basically unmovable from lane, or I can come out of the jungle and I have all this CC and this AoE and some silences and really strong. And everybody keeps trying to bait me out to talk about Karma picks, but unless Mochi Balls is in this game, I'm not biting on any Karma picks because Mochi Balls is the true Karma player of Destiny, and he's the only one that I believe will actually go with the Karma pick. But Araja, Cat Scan, they're going to be followed up with a J4 and a Taric. So that, again, that's just another way for, Cataclysm hops in, and then everybody's held inside the Cataclysm, or as many people as you can. Then you can set up the bullet time. And really, Jarvan's just one of those great champions that sets up AoE damage. He basically holds everybody in there, and he basically just makes it so that all your AoE damage auto lands, and that's the main gift that he is to your team. Plus, he's a great just jungler in general, has a lot of burst damage early, and he wasn't nerfed in all the patches that have just come through, so he's still really, really strong. Cat's going to be on that Taric. Taric's still being played constantly. Now, the thing about a Taric is in the way this was picked out, if I was coming back, we see the response was Leona Akali, probably would have been a fan of actually something more Lulu, like a poke comp. If they ever have that from their support lineup, if you play against a Taric, and I actually learned, a lot of this too is like coming from talking to I5 Bears. Shout out to I5 Bears, big fan of him. But he was talking a lot about Taric and how he doesn't like him, and his theory is kind of correct. Taric, he really has a dazzle, and then to do any other damage, he has to get in, or your AD carry has to get in. Now, if you take Lulu and Tristana, or Lulu and someone with really long poke range, Taric can never get in. He's going to get poked before he can even do anything, and he will get punished. So when you pick a Taric first like that, yeah, it's a really strong lane, but if people know how to play right, they play a really heavy poke comp, and you can poke him before he even gets in, he just gets punished over and over and over again, unless you get really clever with that. But we'll see how that works out. On the other hand side, we do have the Rise Akali, so it looks like it's going to be, it looks like we might have, we might stick with a jungle show, have a top Akali the Gurg on that, and a mid Rise. We'll see. They could even switch it up if they want to, but they'll have Rise away from blue buff if they put him top. So I imagine they would put him mid on this red side for Amazon. And then the counter to that, we will have Fizz. So we'll have something kind of interesting here. We're gonna have Garen, who Garen's pretty much a bully, and he's just like he's single-minded. He's like go in, pressure, kill turret, live in your jungle, dive. That's pretty much Garen. He got a few look-sees in this last patch. So he's been blended a little bit, but he's still really strong, and seen a lot of players play really well from him. Actually, N Ward's really good player in the AHGL B League. Actually plays a stellar Garen and actually gave a lot of trouble to a lot of teams. Pwn Scones for Google is gonna be looks like he's gonna be actually rocking that Fizz. So maybe he's picked up that Fizz recently. Fizz is very strong and it can have a lot of pressure, and if you get rolling with him, can dominate a game. He's still very much a solo queue hero. Like in the really top competitive play, he's you can deal with him, and a lot of teams actually know how to deal with him, and he looks kind of silly. Zion Spartans tried a lot to use him in the LCS and has failed miserably and looks silly, throwing out the sharks and just watching them spin around on the ground and do nothing. It's a pretty easy skill shot to dodge, honestly, at the high level. But in this level, he's a character that has to be feared, because if he's played correctly and he roams around, he can just snowball every lane and just becomes so huge to the point where he's just diving in and two-shotting anything he wants. But he doesn't quite have the sustained versatility as an Akali. If the Gurr gets rolling on Akali, then his assassination would be actually stronger than Fizz's, because Fizz's is like, get in there, do the damage, hopefully Playful Trickster out, or just kind of waste some time, but he's going to get pulled under if he gets caught, where Akali is one of those champions that she can actually stick on you a lot better and is a pretty big threat. So if the Gurr can deal with this Garen top pretty well, and get rolling and be that key piece to this Amazon team that he wants to be, then Amazon might be able to come out with a W here. And also, it'll be fun to see always giving off playing the Shogath. They're not going to play him in lane, which would be pretty interesting to see, but they're actually going to run him in that jungle, which he's a little bit slower, but it's still a very good way for him to go through. His ruptures, since they've been buffed, many patches ago, are a lot more consistent, so you can land them easier. Plus, you have the silence, stops flashes and all sorts of summoner spells from trying to go down to try to clear out some issues. So I kind of like this. I like the team comp for both teams. I feel like the strong engage setup of the bullet time is very prevalent, at least for the Google team. And then coming back on the Amazon side, they have some tools that I think if Gurg gets rolling, they have a lot of engage, a lot of beef backed up by this Tristana, that they might be able to make some things happen here. But both teams with assassins, both teams with some beefy champions in the front line, just different focuses, at least for the AD. Tristana's going to be more that hyper carry, poke you from the back lines, maybe come in to clean up and reset if it can, where Miss Fortune is going to be like line up the perfect bullet time, follow up the Cataclysm, or the team coming in, and that's going to be the keys of the game. It's going to be fun to see how these teams actually shake up. Amazon actually pulling over a Google sub, so they wanted to play a game. Unfortunately, one of their players' computers went down, so they weren't quite able to field a full team. So they're just playing this one out for fun, barring a Google player, and they still going to play the game out. So should be a fun one to cast. Again, this is one I've been looking forward to for quite a while. Google versus Amazon. Who will win my heart? We will find out soon. I enjoyed my time at both companies, and this is kind of a game. I mean, again, like I said, this is a game I've been looking forward to a long time. Know a few of these players. CatScans, Araja are two players that I actually played with back when I did work at Google in the internal tournaments that we used to run, in the Judgment type tournament that we did run as well. And then Amazon always giving off the captain, at least for this B team. Really awesome guy. Works very, very hard, but also supports his team very well. Pretty passionate about it. The Gurg, obviously, talked a lot about him as a top laner. Very solid player. Always love to see him play. And then Pelennor, good bot laner. And we're going to have Patton D's on that mid. Going to be playing that Rise. Actually, has been seeing him have success with that before, too. So, yeah, it's going to be good to see the Pwn Scones versus Patton matchup. And yeah, it's going to be good times. Shaper of Chaos going to be going toe-to-toe with the Gurg. We'll see who can reign supreme. All of a sudden this became like Iron Chef. I don't know why. Whose cuisine will reign supreme? Oh, man. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm starting to recover from my LAN hangover. Was that Emerald City LAN was a 48-hour LAN in drinking nothing but Red Bull and garbage food, and it was a fun time. I enjoyed it, but my body come Sunday, I actually came from there, packed up all my stuff really quickly, threw it into the expedition, raced home, and then pulled it all out, reconstructed it all in my little casting room here. Sorry, my mansion studio. Sorry, in my mansion studio, really quickly. Had all my reconstructed really quickly and then dived right into casting. So I haven't had time to like decompress yet at all this weekend. Besides the few moments I got to lay my head down, but besides that, should be a fun one. Should be excited to cast here, and just waiting for this one to get started. And there you have it. Google versus Amazon. Amazon going to be our red team. Google going to be our blue team, and we'll see which team can take it at this one at this time. Again, the sub Lillery is actually the Google player. It's going to be hopping in here on support play Leona. I believe I actually have seen her play Leona before. I think she has a really good Leona. I can't remember if I've actually played with her before. I think it was back maybe Highwind picked her on his team when he was in the Google tournament. I can't quite remember, but we'll have to see. I might be wrong. My brain might be failing me at this point. But Google looking for an invade here. They actually enter through mid. This is actually a pretty good place to usually invade if you have a shot. They're actually gonna see Amazon ward out their red buff since they're gonna be engaging on this red buff. Rise not gonna take any shortcuts. That's good for him playing this safely. So when you do this, it looks like because they took Leona, they don't have the free ward. Same with Targ. No one has free ward here, or Biscuit. They didn't go. They don't have the full utility, but if you had the free ward, it's always good to throw it over this corner right here just to catch these kind of invades. And just in general, if you're protecting blue, you don't have to actually sit someone there. So looks like it's going to be spotted by flag standard, and we're going to have teams moving in now. Facebook fired yet again. Oh gosh. But anyways, here we go. And counter invades, 2 ships in the night passing each other, and Amazon's going to be evading in there on that red buff, and they're going to realize that no one's at their blue buff, so they might think that their own blue is going down. We'll see if they actually ward and leave, or if they stay this one out. It looks like they are going to stay this one out. Looks like Champion's finally backing here, but minions have spawned, so the Gurg shouldn't be too laid back, honestly, but Garen's going to have a little bit of a head start on him. We'll see how these buffs goes down. We'll see if they meet when they cross. That's going to be like the key factor. Fizz already going to lane, but since they see Fizz come this way, that should tell Amazon that they are at their blue. And you see the ping going down, so they should be meeting them right here, and it looks like they are going to be able to do that. Coming up from behind them, and Leona just taking a little bit of damage, but Cho'Gath actually going to be able to back out with her team down here. And Jarvan, be careful. We might have some showdown here. Jarvan with blue versus Cho'Gath with red. Rupture going to miss. Always goofing off now, heading up into the jungle. Might see a collapse from Fizz. Ping's going down. Fizz going to start to collapse. Ponestones better follow this to try to protect. Although they don't have a lot of CC. Rupture going there to protect the out, and J4 does not have a combo to follow up there. So both just a few hits going down. Ponestones going in there to try to deal out some damage. And Paddo now coming in. Follows up, Rupture does land, barrier are used, red buff applied, and always giving off, getting a lot of pressure off, and then mid lane while Araja just gonna farm up here in the jungle. But yeah, some good little early action stun coming in onto Leona. Both of these supports very kind of an all-in sort of scenario. So if Leona gets behind, if either one of these supports actually gets behind, they reduce effectiveness. But Leona especially, since she is all about the all-in. And we actually see Cho'Gath going for the blue here, calls down the Gurg to help him out, has that red buff advantage, so I kind of like this, but taking too much damage from the minions and always giving off, not going to be able to get away with this one. We see J4, or actually Garen actually just wait for this, but first blood and bot lane, will it be able to pick up always giving off? No, it looks like always giving off going to be able to get out of this. J4 coming in and nicely done, a big pick off for them in this bot lane. It looks like literally was able to bait something out from Tarek, and they were able to punish him instantly. Shaper of Chaos getting very deep in there. Nice patience waiting for the Gurg to pass first before he engaged, but a flash out by always giving off. And I have to props to always giving off. He's been trying to make plays here, and I like that he's been so aggressive so far. It looks like Fizz is going to be able to take this blue, which is going to be huge for him, actually. in this game, and he's going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Rise in the early game. That's something they're not going to be looking forward to. So Amazon, one of the things they definitely have to do is, one, they have to clear their blue buff, because now their blue buff is on stall. It's going to be actually later than the blue buff comes back for Google at this point. So Amazon's going to have to be able to shore up their blue buff, clear it out at least so that it comes back so that Rise can eventually get it. Because right now, Rise is going to get it still until they're able to take it down. And Gerg just messed around with some time, taking some damage, jukes a little bit down to dodge at least some of it, and just going to back off with that. And Garen's just going to keep trying to put that pressure on. She's going to have to utilize her cooldowns like that one to try to be able to get away from a lot of that damage. And we see Garen just keeps going in here, and Gerg's still taking damage. Actually went a lot of health pots, which is it's a pretty good choice. I mean, you can go 2 res, so you can actually go armor, or you can go pots, but I prefer the large health pots because, 1, is able to protect himself with wards, and 2, it's a lot more effective health actually than armor is. You know, the pressure he is taking now, a good call, except for the problem is he almost needs a little bit of movement speed to disengage from the spins that are coming in from Garen. Garen really strong in the fact that he can just take those health pots and boots, and it's really hard to disengage from him. And in melee fights, having movement speed advantage is actually pretty big. I almost think on this Akali, like, it's not typical, but move speed Quince almost would be a good pickup in this matchup, just so you can try to disengage, get in farm when you can. And Akali getting pretty effectively zoned out here. Rupture going to miss after. Should have probably held on to that a little bit, but is going to still proc red buffs. And you see that burst damage coming in. And I always give you off running for this one with the ignite. Rise going to come back here, but he has no mana. And this is the tough one for him. Playful Trickster's over there, gets the slow, gets out a ton of damage, backed up him, and really just putting out Patton right there. Ponescones playing that Fizz pretty well, and that's just kind of the scary state that Fizz can get into. He doesn't even have any items yet. Basically just only has health potions, but he's just going really aggressive in there. And he actually, I believe he does have... he went, did he go Fort or Elixir? And oh, he gets ult off, and it is going to land. He jumps back in underneath turret, locks him underneath the turret, but barrier is going to be up. That should be enough for Ponescones to get out, but it is going to be close with that ignite. But yes, he is barely going to live. And Ponescones going super aggressive, and that's what Fizzes do. You got to play that game and go full in. And yeah, he has this 4 pot up, so definitely a big aggressive play by him, and kind of expected. J4 looping through the enemy's jungle, coming back around on to Gerg, and Gerg has already used his out, so this is actually not going to be pretty good for him, although he does flash to make sure he takes no damage in there. And the Demacian bro is just going to kind of still pour it on here. Level 4, doesn't have to worry about Cataclysm, so he's still pretty safe. Does take a turret shot, so there's actually pretty good trading in here, and it is level 6 for him, so Demacian comes in, although it looks like he's going to fall, and the Gerg is able to survive thanks to that last second shroud and just not having enough calculation on the damage to pick up the kill. They thought they had it very nicely done. It looks like always give me off just going to help keep this wave pushed out so it actually doesn't push in, because if the Gerg was trying to hold it by himself, he'd die to the mini aggro. So always give me off just helping out there, also pushing this out just a little bit, and overall just kind of nice for them. The Gerg pretty much struggling here against this Garen though. I mean, Garen has that huge pressure, so not too bad as expected, but 20 CS lead really early on, but he was able to pick up the kill against him, so that's going to be huge. Going back, going to buy himself up a revolver, get a little bit more sustained for these trades, and Akali's going to start to hit a critical point where she's able to deal enough damage. Nice stun coming up there, nice resets by Misfortune to try to follow up some damage on this bot lane. I feel like Tristana too just kind of needs to go back so she can fight this arms race, because what happened was, even though she got the first blood, Misfortune still, you know, she was able to go back and pick up her Vamp Scepter, so she's very well equipped at actually trading a lot better, does more damage, and just a Dora's Dagger is okay, but now that you're out of pots and you're out of sustain with the Leona there, really not the best thing to go. His Zenith Blade trying to go, and a flash in with the damage and the ignite to try to get the damage and attempt to jump in, but they are going to be able to trade. Leona is not going to be able to run down this target, so at the very worst, they trade. Leona is going to be able to pick up that kill. Now the Gerg trying to fight back against the sustaining Garen comes in. I like how he always comes in right after it's about to fall off, so he can just keep up that pressure as much as possible. But when we look in here, yeah, Tarek. So that was actually better, because Tarek was the one that took the kill underneath tower. It wasn't Misfortune, so Misfortune didn't get the kill gold. And oh, that Rupture is going to land, followed up by the ult. It's barely going to miss from Leona and the silence, but I don't think they had quite enough to actually kill Tarek down here without some extra help from ooh, here we go. Podsco's getting in, being cute, but actually comes out behind on that one. Rupture's going to go down in front of him, dodges that one. Silence comes out, no playful trickstering now. Will he be able to have it? Throws down the ult. This is very close. There's a playful trickster at the last second. They almost got him, but again, Rise just, I feel like there's so many points where, like, if he just had like a little bit more mana and could get out another spell, he would be able to lock up these kills or fight a little bit better, but just kind of been gassed so far trying to farm up this lane and survive. Podsco's putting on a lot of nice pressure, but kind of learned right there that he can be as cute as he wants, but Rise eventually is going to get to a point where he's tanky enough to kind of deal with this pressure. Plus, he did lose his fort pot, I believe, at this point, so not going to have that extra damage backing him up there. Setos very much alone here, so doesn't want to get caught. If he gets caught by anything, Tark is just waiting in the wings, starting to catch up, but very much Pelinor's realm right now until Tark is able to get back in this. And we see Leona trying to zone out a little bit, taking a few auto attacks for her trouble. You see J4 head up here. Garen being really, really aggressive up here against this Akali. Akali trying to trade here. Ignite going down. Rupture comes up, misses barely, and always giving up. Doesn't have a lot of mana here, though, to fight this one out, taking a ton of damage, and this is very, very close. Now, they might see the dive. There's the dive, and Akali might try to punish for this. It's very, very close. Needs one more dash, needs one more proc, just needs one more hit, but falls. Oh, so heartbreaking for Amazon right there. Thought they might have to kill the Gurg, sent some blood, wanted to feed that Akali, but just quite didn't have enough energy or enough marks to follow that up. And unfortunate. Definitely, for sure, I would say always giving up. I mean, he knows it, this game, but just I think like Cho'Gath Ruptures are very much prediction, and sometimes it just needs a little bit more patience. With what he's doing right now. And there's the all-in from Leona. They get the stun down, able to try to zone him out. A nice little flash out by Pelennor to deke out of that bullet time that was coming here. Pelennor might be trying to wait for cooldowns to run back in here and trade with Setos. Will he be able to get it? And no, he's not going to be able to. Leona will be able to finish off the kill, but Tarek's going to be able to follow that one up as well. So 2 assists and a kill apiece or a kill and an assist apiece for that bot lane. And Araja wants to be a jerk face. Yeah, he wants to be a jerk right now. He's waiting for this one, steals it, and oh, brutal. This is Google having their way a little bit here, and they're going to be able to pick up this dragon as well. Garen actually out of top lane. So the good news is they took that top turret. They're able to take dragon here, so not too bad. But the good news is, at least for Amazon here, is that the Gurg in that top lane is going to be able to farm back up a little bit, catch up a little bit to this Garen, which he's actually been doing a pretty good job. Like, Garen had a pretty stellar lead, at a 20 CS lead. Now it's being cut into, and even though he has some kills and has got off some good pressure, you see always give up a little bit gun shy about this one. Now, and there's the engagement. On to always giving up, followed up by a stun. Lots of stuns in the background. Looks like Rise trading out with Podsco's. Podsco's trying to run through here, but the Zenith Blade is going to land. They're trying to follow this up, and in comes Pelennor. This could be huge for them. They're able to pick up one. Now they're following on to Misfortune. Misfortune looks like she does not have her bullet time, so they're going all in on this one. Exhaust coming down. Stun going for the wrong target, though, although Podsco's going to try to deal this one, but in comes Rise. They're going to be able to pick up 2. Will it be 4? This is going to be very, very close for Amazon. The Leona comes in, and that seals the deal. Double kill for Rise, and just like that, Amazon able to even up the kills, still down by a decent chunk of gold due to objectives, but that was a huge fight that they needed to get back in this one, being able to pick up 4 for 2, I believe, somewhere in there. Yeah, I believe always giving up in Pelennor fell, but 4 for 2, and they were able to have the Gurg farm up a little bit up top. If they take this mid turret, which I don't think they're going to have enough damage to do, that would be big as well. We see J4 running quick to that mid lane to stop this one out, but very, very nicely done. And Amazon buying themselves a window, building themselves some time, and Rise is going to be able to get his blue buff, his blue buff he's always hoped for. So one thing to do when you are ahead, which is what you saw, which was very, very smart by Araja. You know, it looked cute, it looked mean, but one good thing is you kill that top turret, especially with a Garen, you roam into their jungle, you own their jungle, and you ward it up. And one of the best ways when you're ahead to get even more ahead and to put the pressure on is to go after the jungler. But a beautiful Cataclysm following this one up, but a lot of tank aggro going on to Raja. Raja's at least going to fall 2 for 1, 2 for 2 now at this point. The Gurg comes back out of this one, starts to trade yet again. All comes in, misses actually as he jumps back out, and the Gurg lives, but with a minion aggro take him down? No, it won't. The Gurg with a double kill, sustaining through there, and another big trade coming in there, and it's going to be in favor of Amazon yet again, creeping back into this one and getting some kills onto their carries, the ones they need to. We've had a double kill for Rise. The Gurg was able to get a double kill right there, and we had Pellinor earlier picking up some kills. He's 4, 3, and 2, so stacking that gold where it needs to be. Meanwhile, 3 kills for Garen. I keep on calling him J4. I suck, but 3 kills for Garen for the Google side. Fizz has 3 kills as well, and Misfortune though actually had some kills stolen, at least in that early dive, so she's actually behind Tark at this point. So I think this is actually kind of working out for Amazon's team pretty well. The carries are getting the kills that are being distributed, the gold's being distributed on the carries for Amazon, so they're looking kind of pretty here. Looks like Bilgewater Cutlass fall, but Paddo is in a little bit of trouble here, but I think Pone's a little bit gun shy before. Blew his combo already. Paddo just needs to be careful though, because once those cooldowns come back up, might be in trouble. There's the engagement by Lillery coming in here. There's a beautiful stun, followed by Rupture, followed by Silence. Where's the feast? Show me the feast. No, it's not going to come out, and it looks like it was off cooldown, and unfortunately, similar as to the fault of Google. Oh, Pellinor trying to turn on this one. Gets caught up there, but the Gurg coming back in mid, being able to pick himself up a kill. You know what? Since I have the power, let's go back and look what happened here. Pone's getting dived on, even with the shark. The Gurg, and that's the power of Akali. Once you get rolling, real men don't look at explosions; they just walk away. That's what Gurg did right there. Threw his blades like, I got this. Turns away, explosion done. Count it. Beast, and now they're going to be able to take this mid turret, or should be able to, although big pressure on this bottom turret. We only have Always Giving Up defend this, and I don't know if he's actually going to be able to stick around. He can't actually clear these minions fast enough, and they have enough CC here that they would be able to hold him down. We do see Garen coming down into this Rise in a Akali setup for Amazon, but it wouldn't work out for him actually if he goes into this. So turret taken, expected. Always goofing off, getting in there and getting caught. Definitely should have backed off on that one, I think, right away. And Paddo kind of left alone. The Gurg running up to help him out really quickly, and the Shaper of Catch needs that one last hit to follow up the combo. He's going to try to be able to get out. He's using the turret to dodge him out. Oh my gosh. Oh, the jukes, the plays. Oh, and there's the Cataclysm on a Paddo, but he's going to turn him. He's still under tower aggro. The Gurg comes in and saves him. Now it's up to Silas. He's under tower, but the Gurg, he's feasting right now. He's feasting with that red buff. Fizz trying to close this one out. Almost got something. Knight is going to tick, so he's going to be able to pick up the kill. Zenith Blade miss, and this has been a show and a half. This is a pretty exciting game to cast, at least on my end, and hopefully you're enjoying this one, because these guys are brawling and trading pretty well. Some interesting plays underneath the turret. Rupture almost lands to follow that one up. Stun, I mean, Lillery again. I think this is who I thought it was, because her stuns from the stun have been pretty stellar, and that silence is going to shut down a lot of the aggression from Pone's. The Pone's going to be jumping back out yet again. Constantly waiting for this cooldown. He's getting a little low on mana. Always Give Off still stacking up here. I believe, is he out of stacks after that last step? Looks like he only has 1, I believe, up so far, but definitely needs to stack that up. But man, decompression time. So 10 CS lead at least for MF in that bot lane. She's starting to get some kills though in some last engagements, so starting to creep back in here. But the Gurg getting heavily fed, has the Gunblade, has the Sork shoes, rolling onto his next items. He's 6-2-0. CS-wise, Garen still just AFK farming that top lane, jump in the jungle when you can. So overall CS advantage for Google at this point, but Amazon definitely fighting back here. They're falling a little bit behind in gold overall. Need a little bit more buff control, but overall really do like their play as they're fighting back here. Only lost the bottom and top turret, been able to hold on this mid turret for quite a while, and they have the mid turret down, so that kind of opens up plays for them, although a little bit of gun shy of this heavy CC and boss team is what I like to call it. You know, Garrett and J4 are bosses when it comes to lanes in fights, and they kind of go in there and can dictate it. It looks like they have the dragon timer on point, and they're going to be able to take this dragon, and now there's going to be a 5 collapse on this mid lane. So if they engage here, could be bad for them as we see the Gurg go in there. Going to dive right in there, get a lot of CC on him. Shark going to miss. He's actually going to be able to juke it. The Gurg is going to have to wait for his cooldowns to possibly get back in on this one to help out his team and be able to get some spell vamp in there. But no, he's going to have to run for his life. And again, just unfortunate collapse for them. Tristana and Leona not in place, and that is a tough place to run. The CC is going to follow them. It's going to be bad. She throws down her ult, which is good, and we're going to see a rocket jump from Tristana just to get to safety. But this Google team, they formed up, look really clean here as they're starting to push in on this one, and actually doing a pretty good job on this turret. And just overall, just coordination. They have the dragon timers down very well. We saw Amazon actually had great wards down there covering Dragon, but really didn't pay off for them. And there's that burst damage from Fizz. This is so disgusting. They have a lot of single target burst damage to back up the misfortune bullet time. But, oh man, brutal, and it's tanky too, which is the hard part. So Amazon on the back foot, on their doorstep, lose 2 turrets there pretty much back-to-back off that early play, and we see Google actually pulling back out to a pretty commanding lead here. We'll see if Amazon can stay true and respond as they have been doing throughout this game. As look at the total gold, the Gurg 5.8k, as well as Pelennor in that bottom lane. Meanwhile, Shaper of Chaos 6.4k, and we have 7.6k on Misfortune, 7.3k onto Fizz. Pwn Scones in that mid lane, so looking pretty good in those lanes. Paddo, let's check out Rise's items, because he has Rod of Ages, so he's pretty decently tanky. Has Sork shoes to follow this up with, and he has his tier, so working pretty good on to getting tanky and dealing damage. We'll see what he actually goes with next. A lot of AD on the enemy team and armor shatter, so armor wouldn't be a bad thing. The main thing that can melt you down, of course, is this Fizz all-in, which he has his Lichbane, which is kind of one of the key items for him. Now, after Lichbane, you can follow it up with Rabadons, or you can go into Seeker's Armguard, or you can go to Seeker Armguard, and then obviously Hourglass. Hourglass very, very strong because it adds another basically playful trickster on top of your kit. It's almost like if you go Hourglass on top of Vlad, you have Pool, then you have Hourglass. Him for Fizz, it's playful trickster, then Hourglass. I think you can even extend playful trickster if you Hourglass in the middle of it, but that said, I mean, it adds a lot of kit to his tool to get in there, assassinate, wait for cooldowns to reset, and he does so much damage at this point that it's part of what Fizz is a fun and strong champion. So we're going to see how they decide to close this one out. And the Gurg getting in here, dealing out some damage. Shaper of Chaos trying to run a little bit, but just has such good trade ability. And now he's actually going to kind of bait and Shaper of Chaos into this one so he can actually trade, deal at his burst damage, try to get sustain up in those trades, and just keep up this pressure to back him off. But problem is, Shaper of Chaos is beef. Like, I mean, he has a Spirit Visage, so his healing's actually amplified as well, and just a lot of health. And now we go. Shark's going to be able to come in, bullet time follow up, and just look at the team get melted right there. And just, I don't think they expected that, and they didn't quite judge the damage that's coming in from this. And yeah, scary team coming in right now. And the unfortunate part, maybe for Pwn Scones, is that he's gonna be seeing some Fizz bans probably, although maybe he wants that. Maybe he feels comfortable with other champions. Not too worried in Gurg. Unfortunately, just, you know, it doesn't have, I mean, he's getting too much focus in there. I mean, the ideal candidate for an Akali is that you can come in kind of after someone's initiated, but since their front line just got absolutely melted right there, really not working out for them. And now we see the Demacian brothers working on this top turret, able to take that down. Lots of pressure all over the map. We see home guard boots, I believe, for always giving up. Actually, it just has Mobo boots to get him around there really quickly with the Shurelya. So him and the Gurg are going to defend the top turret while the 3 defend bottom. Need to not get caught by that combo again. The alt combo, they've actually been able to put a lot of damage on this bot turret, only a few little poke hits in. I think actually if Google mounted up all together, they could push in this bot lane pretty easily at this current state they've been able to push this game into. Have 11k advantage at 22 minutes in, or 23 minutes in about now, but I think that would definitely be the way to dial this one up at this point, but we'll see. Araja backing off out of this one out of mid lane, and should see a lot of them back and just buy back up again. We see the needlessly large rod, so almost an Hourglass for Fizz. I mean, he's getting crazy beefy. Similarly, in order to get tanky and try to survive through this, we see the Gurg is actually going kind of a similar path, just a little bit behind this Fizz, who's not only been farming up better, but he's farming the lives a little bit better. 7, 3, and 5. Disgusting. And exactly where you want a Fizz. And it looks like Fizz is actually going to go back again. Maybe he has enough money for it now? I'm guessing, yep. He had enough money. He's like, let's get the Hourglass. And now this next fight, they won't be able to kill me, and I'm going to be able to melt all their faces over and over again. They're going to hate to play against Fizz, and they'll just ban him. They'll ban him in the normal games they play after this game. They'll have so much the shock and awe from it. So Pink Ward's going down. Again, I believe Zimmerman down towards Pellinor and actually getting pinged. So it looks like they might actually be heading towards this bot lane here. So it might be trouble for Pellinor, but Pellinor has some jukes up his sleeve. Just a matter of when he's actually able to use this. Actually jumps, tries to get to the bush, but he's not able to do it. Too much AD damage, and just it's destroyed right there. Really need to go away or try to get into a wall to hop over if he could. Sorry, that's going on there. But Trey's going up here. The Gurg trying, but the Gurg is low. Really can't back him. Always giving out. Just has to run for his life. They're chasing the wrong one because I don't know if they're going to be able to catch the Gurg. Could be close. Might be able to juke back out onto J4. Yes, he is, but the flag standard is going to be able to wrap him up. A nice attempt to get out of that one, but unfortunately just too much damage. And Fizz trying to trade right here into Leona, but Leona's actually getting the better of this one. Turret shot coming in from Pone's Guns, but they're actually going to be able to cover his retreat possibly. Minions coming up to back him up just a little. He tries to hop over the wall, but misses and almost eats the rupture. Oh, Billy, that would have been embarrassing. Always give him off. Going to be picked up, though. Just so much damage on this Google team right now. And Pellinor coming in, just poking out as best as he can. See in here. I mean, it's kind of like trying to look at the state of the game. It's, so much damage, not enough resistance. I want to kind of look at some of the runes after these players, because some of the squishiness is pretty crazy. I mean, they know they have a huge advantage, but some of this melting action is happening pretty quickly, or a lot quicker than I think it's gonna happen. But Google playing out this one very, very well, and kind of earning their victory right here. Got an inhib, should be able to take this bot. Like I said earlier, I thought they could have done it, 5 minutes ago, or whatever. Whenever I said they could, I think they could take the bomb turret too. But apparently they're gonna take blue buff, probably gonna take dragon, knowing how most teams think. And then, if they really want to, they could just go take bottom turret and inhibitor. Easy peasy. They could just dive it as a 5-man team out of the jungle. Amazon would never see it, and it'd be free. But they're just going to blue pill back here. Buy up. And be beefy. I mean, there's not a lot of outs for Amazon right now. With one inhibitor down. They're warding up Baron, but the problem with warding up Baron at this point is I don't even know if they can fight for a Baron. I know they can't. If they were to go down here and defend the Baron, they would lose more than likely and die. But it's either do you die underneath turrets or do you die fighting over a Baron. It's kind of up to you to choose. Pick your doom, if you will. Because otherwise you're just going to die a really, really slow death, and you're going to watch them take everything, then kill you under a Nexus. So, or sit on top of your fountain and live. I mean, it's up to you how you want this to end. But for the most part, the thing about Baron is that a lot of people don't know this, but the green ooze that actually pops up. So a lot of people now actually are savvy to the fact that the closest member actually gets reduced damage AD to Baron. But the green ooze that's popping on you actually increases magic damage. So if you do if you do have the enemy team go to a Baron, and they get enough stacks of that on you, it actually amplifies your damage, kind of like almost like a Vlad ult, and you get that to bonus in there. But turret already dead. They shouldn't even be around this at this point. This is exactly what I was afraid of. But Gurg jumping in the backline, tries to get on C-Toss to try to get in there, but Garen gonna peel for him a little bit here. Dives in the backline, trying to chase in the Gurg, trying his best as he can, but just doesn't have enough in the tank. And there is going to be the ace, and that's pretty much what I figured they would dial up. And the best move for them. Now they're actually going to finally have some creeps so they can stop basically eating these turret shots. Nice use of Pone's Gun's ability. A lot of people don't know that actually a lot of people just think of it as an escape ability, but if you wait on it, it does do damage. It does a nice little slow when you land. If you let it time out, which he actually used to clear those creeps. So nicely done by Google, able to pick up a win very convincingly. And, thanks to them, thanks to these two teams for actually working it out and being able to supply a sub like Lillery, who I thought actually had some really great Leona play, landing those stuns and alts and making this game happen unfortunate that someone's computer went down, they couldn't find a sub in time. But overall, congratulations to both teams. It was a fun game to cast, especially in that early game where the fights were going back and forth, and Amazon was actually coming through with a lot of big kills and plays. So very good game. Thanks you guys for letting me cast it. I am Paddo, and I think that's going to be it for today. I think I might go lay down, sleep, recover from this weekend, so I can go to work tomorrow. But I might actually also just keep playing League of Legends because I'm addicted. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at PaddoCast. You can find all these VODs, which are going to be up probably in the next hour or so. I'll cut them out. I'll put them to my YouTube, youtube.com/RaiseYourWeaponMedia. And of course, yeah, as always, follow this channel in the top left. If you haven't already, you'll get an email whenever I do go live with AHGL games or whatever I am casting. I cast a lot of local stuff and online tournaments. Currently going to be casting a lot of stuff for UBC, and ESEA is going to be starting up the playoffs for their league that they've been running throughout the season with some really great teams. So should be some good leagues and some good League of Legends action. So definitely follow me, follow the channel up in the top left, and you can see all that action or get the heads up when it is going live. So yeah, have a great weekend, guys, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.